trauma that leads people to self-medicate. I get it. I worked with such victims. I worked with addiction recovery participants or clients. So I'm not saying none of that is relevant. It's relevant. It makes sense because you want to numb the pain. I get it. What I'm saying to you is, regardless of what happened, it is your responsibility to take the initiative. Today, I led somebody. I said, you need to feel that pain. You know, they were talking about something. They were being vague. I said, no, something happened to you. You got to tell me what happened. I know what happened because I've been in this field for so long that I can tell you that it's different ways, but it's the same story. Abuse is abuse. That's abuse. We can quantify if we want to, but abuse is abuse. That's abuse. In other words, the effects of abuse are pretty much the same. If you've been abused, you kind of have the same response. And one of them is anger and being extremely defensive. Anger and being extremely defensive. And so when you're dealing with people that are always on edge like that, it's like, what happened? Like, why are you so on edge? Why are you constantly taking things offensively? Why are you so defensive? And as you dig down, because I'm not going to just assume. I know, but I'm going to ask you. I want you to tell me, what do you think happened? And that's hard for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to go back to their childhood because they have unconsciously moved on, right? But their present condition hasn't moved on because your response is as a result of what happened. Except what happened, you can't fix what happened. You put it under that's like what's under the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is what we're seeing. Is your reaction, your behavior, your lashing out, your cussing people out. That's the tip of the iceberg. But what's underneath the iceberg is what's the most dangerous. So I tell people, regardless of how difficult it is, allow yourself to feel those emotions. Allow yourself to go there. Because if you cannot figure out what is triggering you, you will not stop being triggered. And you don't know where that trigger will lead you one day. You don't know. This young lady with 4 children, went on social media live and killed her husband live. I mean, we can make all kinds of excuses, but the bottom line remains that, yes, she could have snapped. Yes, she could have. But the woman you followed, I watched the entire video. You followed the steps. And when you were following, she was conscious, very much conscious. But it was the fact that she felt like, how dare you cheat on me? How dare you do this to me? You know, and she was talking about the guy's sexual life and what he does and blah, blah, blah. Let me be the first to tell you this. As a woman, when you meet a man who lacks men, you know it. As a woman, when you meet a man who likes men, you know. And if you truly don't know, you're not watching or paying attention. Because that kind of man, their natural tendency is not to be touchy-feely and there are women who married men knowing, okay? There are women who have married men knowing that this man likes other men, does not like women. But this woman wants the man and wants to get married. I personally knew several women in that situation. Mm-hmm. Have I been in a position where I've liked a man and I realized, nah, this man, something is off. You don't even got to get to the bed. You don't have to get to the bed. We don't have to kiss. Something was off. You cannot date blindlessly. Or is it blindly? Somebody help me over here. You can't date blindly. But there are women who have proceeded to marry men knowing those men were gay. So we set ourselves up for many things. So I get the concept of snapping, But people snap because they allow things to build up. And if you're already emotionally unstable, it doesn't take much to snap. Trust me. I worked with teens. I worked with whose emotions is all over the place more than teens. Children, toddlers, teens, their emotions is out of whack. But you know what I realized? The more I deal with adults, the more I realize that adults are worse than the toddlers. They're completely out of whack. Why is that? Because the adults went through what these toddlers went through, became teenagers, didn't deal with their emotions as teenagers. That's why I love working with teens, because if you catch them young, you let them you show them that, look, this emotions, if you don't get it under control, you're gonna, by the time you're a certain age, you're gonna lose, your heart is gonna be gone. There'll be no heart left. So by the time you see a 20-year-old, 30, 25-year-old, they don't want to love again. They don't want to do nothing again because their body is spent, their brain is spent, their heart is spent, everything is spent. You let people take everything, your mind, your brain, your body, everything. They took it. Because you never took your emotions under control. If your emotions are stable, trust me, the concept, you can't be laying there sleeping with anybody that's around. You just can't. Your body won't even allow you. Your mind wouldn't allow you to just lay with anybody you meet. Oh, I like you. And then you lay down and have sex. No, you're not stable emotionally. If you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're still counting, you're not stable, sis. There are women I have told personally, I said, right now, don't think about relationship. Because my job as a leader is not to make you, encourage you to fall in love and hurt yourself. Because the concept of falling in love is truly just a concept. It's like a trend. It's not necessarily a reality. Because what are you falling in love with? What are you exactly falling in love with? You fall in love so much that you think you own the people. You don't want to lose the guy. The guy is clearly cheating. You know, he posted on social media another girl. You saw it. It's not like my friends told me. No, you saw that the guy has posted another girl on social media. It's not his sister. Trust me, guys don't just be posting girls. They don't want trouble. It's not his sister. You did your investigation and discovered, I think there's something going on. He doesn't want to take you out in public, but he's taking another girl in public. But you want him to come and write a letter and explain to you what exactly he meant by taking the girl out. No, it's foolish. I'm telling you, it's foolish. If your emotions are stable, you can judge from a standpoint of consciousness. Because at this point, you're not led by your emotions. I'm not coming at you because my emotions have always been stable. No, I'm coming at you as I was off. I was off. But it took work. It took dedication. It took me saying, I no longer want to be off. I want a better life. I want to do better. I don't want to be caught up in the wrong situation. And let me go to the other side. There are people that play with people's hearts. They do. Not recognizing, not realizing that people are fragile. There are lots of people with mental health out there. Lots of people. There's more people with mental health issues than we care to discuss. And as a mental health ex-therapist, okay? Ex-therapist. But the gift and the skills are still there. I just stopped therapy because half of the people didn't want help. So I need people that are ready for change. That's why I changed my approach. And the approach I've been using is working with a lot of young ladies. As a coach, I've coached people through the hardest traumas. It doesn't matter what kind of trauma, I've coached them through it. And no, coaching and mental health don't mix. That's not what it is. But because of my understanding of mental health, I'm able to see what the problem is. Because sometimes people are stuck. Not for anything, but simply because of what happened in the past. You have to let them see it. So it's not therapy I'm doing, but I'm showing them this is why. Now that you know why, can we move forward? Okay, that's how I coach them. Can we move forward? Because you didn't know. Because sometimes you're like, I don't know why I'm like this. I'm always crying. Like, I don't know why I'm just like always just, yeah, because let me tell you why you're always crying. So that's what I've been able to do over time. Share the broadcast with someone. Let someone know we're on and we're teaching intensely about emotions. This year, that's my goal, and that is what the Lord has laid on my heart. Every woman that I come in contact with that allows me, she's going to become straight with her emotions. She will be stable. Your emotions will be correct so that your relationships will thrive. Because the relationships you even engage are based on your emotional wellness. The reason you're engaging that fool is because you're not stable. You don't even know what to believe. You don't know what's correct, and because your intuition will tell you. When I met this guy, something told me. Every woman has that story. Something like I knew. I don't know what I was thinking because we weren't thinking, right? Because the emotions, we allowed the emotions to take over. So we didn't think. And when you stop thinking, you start making emotional decisions. But you cannot stop thinking. When it's life and death. This young man lost his life because the woman felt like you were cheating. How dare you cheat on me? The cheating is not like, we're not here to elevate and say good job for cheating. What we're saying is, if you're with a man that would cheat, and the man has told himself, I don't care. I'm going to jeopardize my family and go cheat. Allow the man to throw himself under the bus. But women, we are catchers in the rye. You know what a catcher in the rye is? A catcher in the rye is someone who tries to prevent people from going through some things. So because women, our natural antennas are very sharp. Like you can tell when a coworker is going to be trouble. You can tell. You're like, you talking to that girl? No, listen. That girl, she's going to get you in trouble. And you can tell. Because of that, we like to meddle ourselves. We like to meddle ourselves and say, hey, look, there's this person you're talking to, I don't want you to talk to this person, and then we go all out. Don't talk to this person. Sometimes you have to let people hang themselves. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. Like, let them hang themselves. Because when you try to constantly save people, they don't know that they're even about to do something wrong. They don't know. They don't know. We're constantly trying to save, like, don't do this. If you do this, it's going to do, like, I remember, I'm going to tell you this, okay? That's a transparent moment. Y'all know that Coach Yeboah, Ruth Yeboah, I am as real as it gets. And I wasn't called to fake it to anybody. I was called to deliver the people. And to bring deliverance, you must be real. So I'm not going to sit here and paint a picture perfect life because that wasn't my life. But what I can tell you is where I am, it took work. And I'm going to make sure that every woman I encounter heals so that she can rise from the ashes of her life and get to that place God has intended for her. Because even in ministry, we have women in ministry that are a hot mess. Okay? I went somewhere, I was in a church where when I talk about bullying, these women bully the living life out of me. But here's the thing. When you bully someone, the tendency is you cry, you're down, you're depressed. But in my case, the Lord categorically spoke to me and said to me, I'm teaching you about character development. Did you hear that? So in my situation, the bullying was going on, but God made it clear that this is a setting that you can see all the negative things that are going on. But because I'm teaching you about character development, you must go through to be able to come out alive because I came out unscathed. Because when you talk somebody down for you to feel better, and then after you talk to the person, you yourself, you feel sad. You are unstable. You are unstable. I have been, and I've allowed people, like, I'm not moved. And I'm going to tell you several stories, okay? Y'all stick by, because tonight, I'm passionate. I came in to hit the jugular. Some of the things will hurt, But I'm telling you, as it's hurting, it's taking out the things that are not supposed to be there. It's healing you. Healing hurts. So sometimes because of the pain, we give up. But allow it to hurt and get out everything, the gunk. Let it get out. Once you cry it out and get everything out through the proper healing channels, you'll be free. And who the Son makes free is free indeed. You will be free indeed. Listen, I've never felt so much at peace in my life. I didn't even know what my issue was until I healed emotionally. I am the 9th child of a family of 10. Can you tell me? Do you have 10 people in your family, 10 siblings? Or 9 siblings, so you're like 10? 9 out of 10. If nothing taught me, if I didn't go to school and get my master's, the 9 out of 10 taught me enough. Because everybody had their own emotional antenna, own emotional response, own emotional issues that many refuse to this day, refuse to deal with. And because they refuse to deal with their own emotions, guess what? They're constantly lashing out at other people, finding fault with other people. So relationships cannot grow because you don't want to deal with the issues. And in this life, until you address the thing, some things will keep happening until you learn your lesson. You tell yourself, why does this keep happening? Every guy I date, every friend, guess what? You didn't learn your lesson. You didn't learn your lesson. That's why every this, every that. But in this life, no one is exempt. The Bible says in the book of Acts chapter 10, verse 34, it says, one thing I know for sure is that God is no respecter of persons. So what God is saying is that, listen, I love you all the same. However, like you're not exempt from going through life. You're not exempt from challenges. You're not exempt. You're not exempt. Nobody's exempt. So then what he's saying to you is that one thing I know for sure is that God is no respecter. So you are not exempt from going through the thing you're going through. And until you decide to learn that thing, that wilderness, you went through it because God wanted to teach you a lesson. You hurried up and got out of the wilderness, but you got out bitter. You got out upset. You got out this. That's how people leave divorce and they're still mad about the marriage. You left the divorce. Remember, you left the marriage. You didn't want it. What are you crying about? What are you upset about? No, tell me, what are you upset about? The marriage was bad. We agree. So we left. So why are we still crying about the marriage? Because the wilderness, the lesson you were supposed to learn, you didn't learn it. So because you didn't learn it, you're still holding on to the past. You're stuck in the past and you can't move forward. You refuse to move forward. Your body, your mind, your soul, everything doesn't want to move forward because you sat there and you thought, oh, it's not right. Life is not fair. I tell my children, life is not fair. You come over here, come tell me, mommy, that's not fair. I will slap the living life out of you. Because let me tell you, life isn't fair. What you get out of life is what you put in, the demands you place on life. If you live thinking, this is not fair, this is not fair, this is not fair, you will be angry, mad at the world, and nobody will care about a thing. Seriously. Somebody said, is having a heated conversation with another man besides your husband considered cheating? A heated conversation? What kind of conversation? What makes it heated? Because are we talking about sex? Are we being sexual? Are we being provocative? Are we being, So explain that for me, Kisvedo. Are you with me? Anyway, let me take a break. I'll take a commercial break really quick because I feel my pressure rising. Y'all give me a commercial break. Can somebody give me a break, like drum roll or something? Put a comment. Put a comment, make me smile. Because I feel my pressure rising because I'm too deep into this conversation. I'm going to drink some water. Where are you guys? I don't see any comments. Is sexual, is it considered cheating? Okay. Stay there. Let me see if I can address that question. Hold on a second. Because if I start, I'm going to go off. So hold on a second. Drum roll. Thank you. Because I'm getting heated because I am so passionate about the welfare of women. I'm so passionate about your well-being. I'm so passionate about your relationships, healthy relationships. So I spend a lot of time teaching about healthy relationship dynamics. Listen, while you're on here, if you have not, Mariah, find who she is and post it. Because if you have not read the book, you need to get who she is. It's not me promoting my book, because the people that bought the book I don't know the people that bought the book, to be honest with you. So you guys that are here, I know you, most of you. But those that actually bought the book, I don't know them. So the book is selling itself all right. But I'm telling you that the reason the book is selling itself is because it does what it says it's supposed to do. It's delivered so many women. It's helped so many women. And there's a workbook coming on the way for the book to help women and support women. Because there's so many things that women go through, they have to address it. Nothing will make somebody kill somebody else except their emotions is not intact. This concept of snapping, why did you snap? Because your emotions were never correct. Yes, there's that space where like, okay, you find your spouse cheating or you find, but why? Why would you even get to that level? Many have found their spouse cheating, they didn't snap. Why? Your stability matters. Your emotional wellness matters. And what I would tell, if there are any men on here, share it to the men as well, not just the women. Tell them, stop playing with the hearts of women. I'm not going to get into, but women also cheat. I don't have time for that. That's not why I'm here. Listen to what I'm saying. Men, there are crimes in society that are predominantly men. There are more men killing women than the other way around. Trust me. In domestic violence, it's a male-dominated crime. It's documented as such, and that's what it is. Me being on the ground, working on the ground, I can tell you how many men I helped that were abused. And I can tell you how many women. Yes, people say, oh, but men don't report it. Listen, men know how to report it. Just like women also don't report things, right? So we're not going to worry about those that didn't report. But it's the possessiveness, the patriarchy, the concept of I own you. I am a man. You deserve to be under me. You need to do. So you go around thinking I can break hearts. I was talking to a young man yesterday, and he was asking me to connect him with a friend of mine that is an amazing woman. And I said to him, I said, my friend is married. But if she wasn't married, I wouldn't refer her to you. Over time, many men have asked me, can you hook me up with your friend? Can you hook me up with this? Did y'all post the woman who she is? The Amazon link? Are you guys here? Did somebody post it? It needs to be posted so that others can see it. Is Linda on? All right. So whatever the case may be, he's like, can I talk to her? And I was like, talk to her? No. If she was single, I wouldn't refer her to you. Because here's the reality. Anybody I have hooked up together, those marriages lasted. It's not even dating. I connected them knowing, look, this is marriage. Just jump to marriage. And we're talking about 5, 6, 7 years later, the marriage is as strong as it gets. They've built a legacy together. So I don't just get up and be hooking people up because I do a lot of relationship things. People always come to me. Can you hook me up? This week, I got 3 requests to hook up the men with a woman. I said no. Because I'm looking at you. You're not correct. Don't walk around trying to, and I said this whole concept of I want to cheat and the side chick, if a side chick is willing to date a married man, understand this, she's also not correct. No, you have to be emotionally unstable to think that something that belongs to someone is yours. That's all the concept of jealousy, the concept of envy. It's not yours. It can never be yours. The men who did leave their wives to go to another girl and stay with that girl, the marriage also didn't last. I'm telling you, we don't have records of cheating men who left their wives to another woman and that woman that was satisfied with the woman. No, she was a temporary fix. A temporary fix cannot be a solution. So he won't be satisfied with a temporary fix. Remember, you were a temporary fix. So be careful who you play with, because emotions, although they are transient, a lot of people haven't managed their emotions. So you have to be careful who you're dealing with. Be careful who you're messing with. I personally know too many cases of, okay, the man was with this woman, he went and left for another woman, and the woman came and killed all of them. This is not the first case of a woman going live and killing somebody. No. The others didn't go live, but they killed. All in the name of you went behind me. If you have a brother, if you have a cousin, if you have a friend, a guy friend, tell him, if you cheating, stop cheating. I'm telling you, it doesn't excuse the behavior, but certain things you do, they follow you your entire life. It follows you. It sets a record for you, and it follows you your whole life. So don't play with people's hearts and emotions. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of them are the issues of life. You must guard your heart. You must protect your heart. You must preserve your heart. All the issues of life that come from your heart. Every issue in life. Jealousy flows out of your heart. Because you don't have enough love. Hatred flows out of your heart. The ability to be desensitized, to kill another human, flows out of your heart. People are not stable. I don't know why people have guns in their houses. Yes, some people say for protection. How many of you are out here like this, protecting yourself? No. When you're walking with people, look at their emotional stability. That's the bottom line. What is the emotional wellness of your friend? What happens when you are supposed to go to Applebee's and then you end up in Olive Garden? How does your friend react? You're dating a man. What happens when you do something that he doesn't like? How does he react? You're dating a woman. The way she handles you and she says something back. How does the person react? Ask yourself. Don't overlook it and think it's nothing. Nobody just got up one day, all of a sudden they went and shot them. No. They built up to it. They showed you they were unstable. They showed you they were unstable. And anytime you feel in danger, know that that person is not someone you can trust. Anyone you supposedly love that places you in danger is not someone you can trust. So especially when children are involved, that's why I tell women, I say, if you're dating a guy and the guy cheats on you, do not marry the guy. I promise you this, I've never been wrong. If what I'm saying is not help, please comment. I want to see your comments. I want to see what your thoughts are. If you're dating a man and the man cheats on you while you're dating, when you don't have children, you don't have anything stopping you, you are at your best, you are dressing and taking care of yourself, and they cheat on you. Do you think it's in marriage that you have to schedule sex? Is in marriage that children will come and disturb your sleeping time? Come and lay on your bed. You think it's in marriage that you won't cheat? It's a lie from the pit of hell. We don't marry a cheating man. Do you understand? Keep this rule. You don't marry a cheating man. No amount of sorry should be enough for a man that you're dating that cheated. No amount of sorry. You have to have standards that you live by. And those standards will save you. There are responsibilities and requirements in marriage. And so you don't just get up and throw out a marriage. So maybe there was infidelity. Maybe there was addiction. Maybe there was lies. There was something. So you stood and you fought for the marriage. Anytime you sow a seed of infidelity, you just sow the seed that will forever stay in your marriage. It doesn't disappear. It's there. That seed of infidelity is there. Working through it doesn't mean it's gone. It's there. So yours is to ensure as a man, as a woman, that you don't bring yourself to that place where you have infidelity. Okay. Kesvedo, I feel like you need to inbox me. Okay? Okay? Because if you feel the relationship is one-sided, you have to see at what point, right? So it could be that from what you're saying right now, you retaliated by flirting with another man because he wasn't supportive. He wasn't giving you what you wanted. So you started retaliating. I'm reading the comment on Coach Yeboah, and so you retaliated by flirting. You see, when you play with the heart, you get into dangerous zones. Don't play with people's hearts. If you're dating someone and you don't feel them no more, tell them, look, I'm done. I can't continue this. It's gonna hurt. When a man is bold enough to come and tell you, I don't want to be with you, you better praise the Lord and dance your way through. You don't cry. You say, thank you, Jesus. He just saved you. But a lot of women, we don't want the truth. So when he tells us the truth, we want to look for another lie to cover it. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the hassle. Most men, I read a comment that said a man would rather cut off, their penis than to come tell a woman that they don't want to be with a woman. I don't know how true that is, but that's what the comment said, that a man would rather cut off their penis. I don't know. In other words, they're not going to do it. In other words, the man is not going to come and tell you, I don't want to be with you. Because he don't want to hear all of the extra, the talking and the crying he don't want to deal with all of that. I told you guys this story and I'm going to tell it to you again as I wrap up. I'm going to wrap up because this is, for those of you who just joined, we talked about a woman who killed her husband on Facebook Live and how nothing is worth killing anybody over. If the relationship ain't going, listen, I love marriage, but marriage ain't worth my life. I can tell you that. Especially I got children to take care of. Marriage ain't worth my life. And sometimes it's not even like being killed. It's simply that you're going to be so stressed you would die. Listen, stress will kill you. Trauma will kill you. The guy constantly putting you down will kill you. Do you understand? So you may not get a gunshot wound, right? But you're wounded emotionally. You're wounded mentally. You see men who go and cheat and come back and tell you, oh, it's your body, you're too fat. Or they come back and tell you, oh, because you let yourself go. You don't look good enough. You don't attract me sexually. And I hear these things and I'm like, are you serious? I don't attract you, but you go and cheat and the person attracted you. No, it's a lie. So it's like adding insult to injury. And women believe it. Oh yeah, it must be my fault. It's definitely my fault. No, it's not your fault. The man cheated because he's a cheater and he wanted to cheat. Now, do I understand that there are circumstances that lead people to cheat? Yeah, I get it. There are circumstances. But it's not causation. All right? It's a link. It's not causation. It precipitated. It doesn't mean it caused it. Do you understand? So as a woman, your power lies in your emotional response. The power of womanhood is truly in your emotional response, the way you respond to things. Like even if somebody betrayed you, you know that they lied and said, when you address them, you don't address them like, oh, I heard that you said this. And no, you go to them and said, is there anything I've done to offend you? You're like, have I offended you? Because we're friends. We're friends. The day my best friend told me I don't deserve the marriage I have, the day my best friend told me I don't deserve the marriage I have, guess what? I didn't lash out at her. I didn't get upset. I just kind of asked her, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I told her, I said, don't become somebody you're not. Do you know why I told her don't become somebody you're not? Because that's not who she was. That's not who she was. But she allowed jealousy to creep in. But jealousy can kill. Do you understand that? In the book of Genesis chapter 4, for those of you that just came on, there's a link to my book, Who She Is. I know there's a second book. I haven't even gotten there to talk about it. Because that second book, it will give you life. And that book is called The Death and the Resurrection of Marriage. My gosh. The death and resurrection of marriage. It's too deep to even address. I'll come on live and talk about the book specifically. Maybe later this week. We'll see. Maybe Friday. We'll see how I feel. But when my best friend told me, okay, thank you. She posted the Woman of Value, not Woman of Value, but Who She Is again. Good. So if you want to check out my first book, check it out. It will help you. It helps you journal. It goes through all these things with you. And there's a workbook coming up, like I said, and it's going to really help you to go through your healing process. But when she said that to me, I said, you know what? It's no problem. But I asked her, I said, why is she saying that? I wanted to know. Like, this is not who you are. Can you tell me, like, what did I do? So when you approach people, okay, understand that you have to approach them without the emotions because you don't get far. Like, you want to go to your husband and say, oh, he did something wrong. If you go and start yelling, you're going to lose him. And men don't have the capacity we have. I'm going to tell you. Men, they compartmentalize things. So box A, B, C, D. Women, they say our brain is like this. I saw a picture and I just cracked up. They say women, our brain is like this. Like, like this. And they say that we survive. Men, they're like square, like they compartmentalize. Okay? And so we want to make sure that when you're going to address a spouse, I'm not going to say boyfriend because I'm not over here encouraging boyfriend. So I'm not going to say when you go to your boyfriend. No. If he's going to marry you, by then we're talking courtship. So if that's not the case, I'm going to keep talking about husband because, right? You say, but how do you get to husband if you don't have a boyfriend? No, you don't need a boyfriend. When the person comes and they want to marry, they'll let you know, I want to marry you. Can we get to know each other? And that's courtship. All right? Mm-hmm. You don't need 10 years to know. You don't need 5 years to know. You don't need 2-3 years to know. If the person wants to marry you, they know.